Hey guys, it's Noah, or Tech Liminal as you know me. I'm the guy who writes all the music behind my channel. I figured I'd want to make some videos explaining how I write some of my music so you guys can get some inspiration or just learn some new stuff from it. So today I'm going to take a look at Insert Coin. You can go ahead and listen to that later if you'd like, or right now. So I'm going to break it up into different sections. I got my intro over here, then we got this bridge, a main chorus, and between choruses, and then a final chorus and end. So I'm going to start by showing you all sorts of different plugins that I've used. I use Serum a ton for this one, partly because it's just so easy to make sounds that I want. So this one is that iconic like intro bass I came up with. Well, I didn't come up with this one, actually, it's preset. So that's the sound right here on the intro. Pretty sure this is a factory one as well. It's actually an ARP, but what I did was I lowered all of these so it gives it more bassy sound, and that gives it that unique sound. And this right here is a I believe this one I made myself. So for this I made two separate bass sounds. I have, if I can find it, here we go. I got the sub bass, which all I did was literally added some distortion on sine waves, and the second bass here is this crunchier kind of, and I added some sidechain LFO to this filter right here to give it that, and then made it very plucky, all sorts of different sounds. I didn't add any effects. It's literally just that. I believe this filter is for this sound right here because it's got a lot of high end. I wanted to make it less high end because I believe without it, it was very you can hear how punchy and like with that wave right there. Without that, that makes it very, I don't know, nasally. That pairs in perfectly with this one. But then I start bringing in some new mechanics here. The most prominent one is these ARPs right here. It's a little complex. So here, I started just messing around, honestly. I didn't really think about. Add some standard delay on this. I really did nothing to it. And I threw in this Juno sound wave, which I thought was pretty unique. Because without it, it really adds some of that extra, like, just that extra little tiny bit. And then some distortion on just a sine wave. Distortion on sine wave is a really nice thing. I like doing that. No filters whatsoever, just delay and some extra stuff. No voice unison on that one. And that just makes this unique sound that kind of pairs in with all this rest of the stuff. Then right here, you got this weird sounding bit. I actually used the, let's see if I can find it here. There we go. I literally just used the arpeggiator in Serum. I think it's this one, yeah. Number 12, I think that's a standard one. All of these are pretty standard. I set the octaves pretty high to give it this sparkly kind of sound. Standard filter, so that way it's not like too high in the high end. Just very minimal, you wouldn't hear it. Some delay to give it that airy, sparkly sound. Very fun. I got this harmony that goes with this. Yeah, that I believe is the exact same sound that I use for my ARPs right here that I was talking about earlier. It's the exact same sound. So it gives it this cool sound. And it all pairs together. And you throwing these. Very fun. Also, pardon my very clicky keyboard. I have a Razer Blackwood OV4 with the the clicky keys. It's very bad. I need to get a new one, but let's get into the drums actually here. So I have two sets of drums here. I have my normal drums, which have no, like, I don't know, they're just standard drums, if I can get this over here. So I used FPC for this, very standard. I used, I think I used like a funk, or maybe it is the just straight default sound. Created this really weird, just groovy kind of drums that go well with the rhythm of the song already coming in. But that's pretty normal. I also have those swing drums that come in later in this like swing and rhythm part. But all of that is pretty much what makes up the intro here. I have two like leads that kind of call into the second chorus right here. So this one. Let's see if I can get this. Here we go. Yeah, this one, I had some fun. I made this like bendy sound by actually routing it to an oscillator. Well, LFO. It gives it that like whoa 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 kind of sound. Put a filter on this one right here just to get this high end off. You can really hear the difference when I turn it off, turn it on. And that's a plucky kind of sound, but it holds out just long enough. Well, it holds out as long as I hold the note. But that was kind of fun. Then I had the second one, which calls back to the, well, calls ahead to the chorus here. And that all plays in to come into this part. So now that we got the intro done, I'm going to talk about this right here. These drums are literally just a hi-hat. So I just focused on giving it the rhythm that it needs while it's quiet here. So then I added these synths. I don't believe I do have the sounds here. I know there's a second one, but I think I must have deleted that or something. But that's that one. Let's see, what did I use? Oh, I used the same sound here again that I've used with this bass harmony earlier on, right here, and the arps. It's just the same sound. I like using some of the similar sounds to give it that, and the same sound all together. Also, if you're curious about the effects that I used, I literally just used some of the default stuff you can find in the browser. This I reversed, I believe. I reversed some of these to just control how it's affecting the song. Like, I'm pretty sure I use this backwards and forward both times. Or I will mix two, like reverse one and add the normal one. And that will mix together very well. So it gives it this either falling and rising then again at the same time, and then it just gives it this cool sound that I really enjoy. I like using a lot of effects, as you guys can tell. This right here, I helped blend the bridge to coming into this bass part, so that way it doesn't come in instantly. So I just reversed it. Well, I didn't reverse it actually, I just brought in the audio very quietly. So that way it's pretty consistent. This is a weird little part you might not normally hear. This one is just one sound wave. It's just this alien spectral thing. But the thing that makes this so unique is this LFO part you can see right here. I just started messing around to give it this cool rhythmic sound. So a lot of sometimes it's really fun just like goofing around with this LFO kind of stuff. Just like routing it to a filter. Like I made this resonance very high up so you can hear just like it emphasizes some of that. And then I added some unison to it. That's pretty much it. No effects, nothing else. So most of these sounds that I make are just very simple, but it just gives it so much more character. I believe I used the exact same sound through my song for this right here. No, I did change it up, actually. Because the harmonies actually change a bit in here. The chords change. Yeah, I keep using the hi-hat sound to give it rhythm all the way until this main chorus, so that way it comes in at one point, emphasizing some of that suspense with the riser faller right here. I use the airy arps again, same chord at the intro. It all works pretty well. So this part, we got two different things here. It's kind of a background thing. I believe, yeah, I talked about the secondary harmony right here that I had over here. That way it kind of calls forward into the song here. Oh, look at that, a stray. You won't be able to see that. I had an audio clip over here. Let's see. This lead harmony. Yep, I use this sound right here. It's very simple, like extremely simple. I do have it routed to a filter, but I didn't even use the filter. I just threw in one sine wave. Well, not sine wave, just one sound wave. I don't even remember what I did for the second lead. It's a bit different. Oh, look at that. It's the exact same. So this one's got that bendy sound to give it that wobbly little bit. Oh yeah, I used the same one as the intro lead here. Yeah, pretty straightforward. I talked about that earlier. Let's see then. I changed up the bass a little bit, so instead of just one note, it changes to follow the chords of the song, of this main part. But then this part's really cool. The wobble arps, I call it. Kind of giving this Mario kind of like wobbly sound. So really all I did was one sound wave, of course, but just super fast arps, and then I set the notes for MIDI being very short, so it kind of is quick. And make sure that pattern is going up, so it gives it that unique sound. Because if it's just, it just doesn't really sound exactly the same without going up, you know? Okay, so then after that, I got this lead here, which is very fun. I'm surprised I came up with this. So this is, once again, pretty simple, except I gave this guy some unison to give it some chunk, because it's not too chunky without it. Detuned it a little bit, so it's not too off. Had to put a filter here, because I think I put that. Oh, I'm not even using the filter there. I don't know, I just like it like that. A little more plucky here, just so it sticks out when the notes are being played. What I did was I changed to mono and legato down here. Give it some slide, so I can give it to... I love slide in my music. Then it brings into this second part right here. This is kind of a weird little swing rhythm section behind both of the choruses here. So that's kind of what it sounds like. It's got the... You can hear it most in the drums here. Just slightly off. And then I bring these drums to it's halftime originally when it starts, so it feels slow, but then it gets even faster further in the song. And it goes back into that chorus. Oh, I did not explain one thing I did, actually. With my drums, I actually use Serum 2 effects. I do not have a bit crusher. I just got one today, but I use the downsample effect to give it more crunch. That's exaggerated, but just slight a bit, you know. So it gives it that iconic sound. After that, we got this bit here. Pretty sure this is a preset. I did not make this one. Yep, sure enough. This one's called Ladders. I do not know exactly, but I like the way this one sounds. Just super unique. Gave it this like ARP-y sound. But along with that, I brought in the bass here, so it that way I go back into the main part, and that pairs well with this. And I cut out this bass to kind of let that lead stick out just a little bit, so it's right in here. At this little bit right here, to give it that really like nice sound, I give it the slide note, so it goes way. It almost sounds like a glissando, like across the keys, right there, and it just like gives it that extra boost that you need. Along with this, as it's rising, it all works together in unison to create this like bass. Oh, it's so fun. This part right here, I literally just took it one note holding it out, and I consolidated it so I could. That's actually bass. No, it must be the lead, but it's a lower note. But I consolidated it so I could bring out that kind of swelly sound. Another bass right here, just holding it out. I set these to peak at different times, so it hear different elements at different times. And then, of course, I repeated the area arps, and that's pretty much how I made it. If you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you really enjoyed watching this. And I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know if there's any other songs you'd like me to create or show you. Anyways, bye. Thanks for watching.